And I listened to my senior brother, Norbert Mao, speak about fixing parliament. And I'm like, well, that's big. He wants to fix the roof without a foundation. You're going to put a roof and you have a fractured foundation. When he joined in, I am one of the people who was here studying almost all the time. One of Mao, you said you're going in to fix things. Can we fix the things as quickly as feasible so that we can build from there? I think unfortunately he was never given opportunity to fix things, and he was not kind enough to return to us and say things are not working the way I thought. And now, when you talk about equal opportunity, OO wants to go and lead the Equal Opportunities Commission, probably, but not Parliament. He's relegating you to say, maybe you're talking about the Equal Opportunities Commission, not the Parliament, as offering equal opportunity. Issue is, you have Parliament, you have the issues that make Parliament Parliament, and you never have uniform parliaments. Every parliament in one particular way differs from the other. And I look at the next parliament as one that will be particularly different because of the manner in which it's been constituted. Of course, you have the OO. When I had OO elected, I was like, wow, as the East land out of elders, I said, well, congratulations, my friend. But, so, I mean, that's banter.
He merited it.
Of course, I know he merited, he's senior. The point is, this is a different parliament, and the issues for this parliament must necessarily be different. What the Honorable Mao talks about is a classical Mao of DP. The mistake he's making is believing that he will fix the roof with a broken foundation. And I hesitate to say that the threats issued out by OO are not personal to OO. They are rehearsed. You need to be strong to withstand the intimidation and say, well, this is what I believe in. You may not win it because you have all the disadvantages in our nature of politics. You remember our conversation, Honorable Mao, when we were discussing the issue of reform. And I told you, Parliament constituted in the manner we are, of winner takes all. That's why he's telling you that they have the numbers, they do what they want. Yeah. How I wish we had PR as a form of constituting Parliament. Proportional representation, we would have had a chance. But this is winner takes all. The Honorable Wakida has reminded you and all and sundry, this is our thing. You're only a guest at the party. So partake of the rounds. If you find icing sugar, you know, the beef is for the children of the house. Partake of that. You are considered orphaned, and therefore someone is throwing an old cloth at the orphan.
So is he biting more than he can chew?
Necessarily not because he's not able. And this is the thing. The Honorable Mao, an old acquaintance, we have had our fair share of run-ins, but we understand each other. This long. The Right Honorable Anita Mong, who've been around each other through the FDCs with the Honorable Wakida here. I understand her deeply and her motivations. This is not Mao's fight. Probably Mao chose the right fight with the wrong tool or stick. And the stick he chose could easily break and hit your eye. That's my word about the fight. You probably could have reconsidered part of the problem that even the opposition itself is as broken as the system. And therefore, you are holding on to broken pieces to make a whole, which is going to be very problematic.
Yeah, but remember, Honorable Mao is making a case based on the cooperation agreement that gives him latitude to make proposals.
I am not
He's testing the waters.
I am not grounded enough to speak about it. I have not read a single sentence out of it. It's unfair for me to use that basis to judge him. What must obtain probably out of his candidature is a conversation that he ought to have started well within. I don't want to believe that he was given an overflowing plate and he forgot what he had gone for, which is to push the system to do away with the politics of alienating groups, sections of society, for those who have everything, say this is our thing. You cannot have your thing for 40 years and you think that somebody is strong enough not to push away the table and break the plates. Mao is trying to break to push the table with the food, the plates, and the wash waters and whatever goes with it. They are reminding him that they are strong enough to protect it. I want to invite my senior brother to return to the drawing board. Some of us have enough time to buttress the issues we have discussed with our elders hitherto on the nature of parliament, the form of government. This is still the NRM out of the bush, Norbert Mao. It's only time that has lapsed. Same people, same convictions. When they invite you and you accept, it's not that they believe in you. It's not that they do not know your quality. You are participating in the wrong chess game. You are playing somebody's games, not your game. That's my problem with it.
Honorable Mao, before I bring you in, I want to invite our viewers to be part of the conversation. We are seeking your opinion on the President's letter that endorses Anita Mong and Thomas Taiwa for the position of Speaker and Deputy Speaker, respectively. Join the discussion on all our social media platforms, and we'll be glad to read out your views. Honorable Mao, you've had the 2 cents from the entire panel. Is the reality setting in that perhaps you were just over-ambitious?
Actually, those who are always talking about realities will never change the world. If the NRA had accepted the reality, in reality, can you take on a government with 27 guns? In reality, wherever I've been, I've gone against reality. O told you about my story in Makerere. I was the most unrealistic candidate. In 96, I took and sought to become a member of parliament against all odds. So, you can give all the lectures you want about reality,
to the extent of describing me as a best.
But I am holding aloft a banner which gives Ugandans hope that this is their country. Now, of course, those whose politics is around eating and so on will always say, you know, you're a visitor, sit under the table. If we think
eat ice in the sugar. Meat is reserved for children.
If eat the soup, once we are tired of eating the meat, you pick some. I have had all those lectures, but that's even very un-African. All of you who grew up in African homes know that it is very customary for children and even members of the home to be told to leave their beds for a visitor. Visitors are actually very important. I don't know what sort of Africans you people are. You are savages, you people. In fact, sometimes your friends are more reliable than your relatives. Most of the problems of the NRM have actually come from within NRM. The biggest problem the NRM has faced. Now, we have this cooperation agreement. It can be rubbished, but there it is. It stands as a witness. We are not the ones who are denying it. In 96, it was our leader, Dr. Semogere, who walked away from the partnership with NRM. This time it looks like it is the NRM which is walking away, and that will send a message to those you are trying to attract.
Yeah, but the speakership, there is no clause on speakership.
No, what I'm saying, that what would it cost the NRM to say, look, we put Mao on our short list. because there's no visitor. So I'm glad you are calling me a visitor. At least you have not called me a trespasser. A visitor means you have been welcomed and even been offered a seat in cabinet. I'm not a trespasser. Now, you are actually insulting the chairman of the NRM as the chief gatekeeper. If he says, Honorable Wakida, go and welcome that visitor. He's the head of the homestead. Now you are trying to lecture him and say, you made a big mistake. This man is having ambitions.
To walk into the master bedroom.
I want a decision. I think it would make sense to say, we have considered your request, and I told you that I have written to the national chairman of the NRM, and I have also written, and I'm going to send a letter to all the members of the 12th Parliament about what I think are the important issues. The members of Parliament should be free to vote the person who they think can best lead the Parliament of Uganda. So I am also one of the elected members of Parliament. Now you are talking as if, you know, Norbert Mao is looking for crumbs at all costs. I never applied to be a minister. I have served faithfully, probably more faithfully than many of those who are carrying the cards of the NRM. And the issues I'm raising, like balancing the boat, are real issues. The issues I'm raising, like restoring public trust in the institution of Parliament, are real issues. The issues I'm raising about accountability, for God's sake, fix those issues.
Thank you.
I will be a happy man.
Thank you. From the onset, this thing called cooperation agreement has been problematic. When Mao raised the issues of reforms, he was thrown under the bus. He was disobeyed. Now here he is saying, we are testing the cooperation agreement.
No,
How are we rotating?
we have been with Honorable Mao for quite a while, like Honorable Matthias. This is a vintage Mao. Let's go that cooperation agreement. Do you have it?
Well, I have snippets of it, but
He
was cagey. He said,
I am not privy.
what leaked is close to what they say.
No. I am not privy to any forum where the chairman and the secretary general of NRM have tabled, caused discussion and convergence on the contents of the cooperation agreement. And therefore, I want to believe, if me, former spokesperson of government, and then I am for many years, not 2 years, not 3 decades, is not privy. How about the younger members of Parliament, majority of whom are coming into mainstream politics for the first time? They will see what Honorable Wakida said, what Anita has brought, especially recently, to them. Because in this election, in this campaign, Anita virtually went to every district, where she will come 2 hours ahead of the presidential candidate Museveni and hold arms of those flag bearers and introduces them, not just their constituency, but the whole district and the world. Do you think those flag bearers who have made it, or even independents who have made it, want to consider that?
Are you wishing away the cooperation agreement?
I don't know the existence of that cooperation agreement. Mao is a good friend of mine, but because NRM is going to have a candidate, indeed has candidates, there is no way I can vote for him or support him. 2, let's go to fixing. Honorable Mao currently is the President General of DP. How much fixing has he done there? For us, the rest of the country, to believe that he means what he is saying and he can accomplish what he's saying.
Thank you. We'll take a very short break, and when we return, we'll still be examining the dynamics of the speakership race and how it is defining the current politics post-election. We'll be back.
The vote of Uganda to be balanced. I would have expected him to forward different names for speaker, for example, and so that it is not conflicting. If it was about balancing the vote.
Yeah, but now there's been a precedent where he's coming as Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs,
that's a deal. That's a deal between Mr. Yoweri Museveni, the President of Uganda, and Mr. Honorable Mao. And many of us don't have, even the law is you serve in the cabinet on the consideration, sole consideration of the President. Of course, having met the other legal requirement that you are senior six, you're not a bank, you have never been a judge of a bank and things like that, and you're under no criminal, So that's their deal, the two. Yes, Mr. Museveni can make a deal between Mao and for the good of NRM, but that's in the cabinet. But in the parliament,
you look at it distastefully.
No.
Are you fine?
I'm fine with Mao, Honorable Mao being a Minister of Justice, or even being the Vice President, where the President has absolute authority on who he appoints.
How about Mao being Speaker?
Well, he won't be because NRM considers that the Speaker of the 12th Parliament and other parliaments are critical positions that we fought in the campaign to retain power, to retain the institutions of power, and there's just no way. But
the Ministry of Justice is equally sensitive.
Well, you have heard the President saying, even if you sleep, the cabinet is there. Don't you see ministers who don't talk for different reasons? But they are ministers. They are honorable members of the cabinet. That's not what I want for a speaker. So, I was coming.
I
was coming. I said, one other reason that I wouldn't give Mao, because I have his record that I have given here. I said, Honorable Mao has DP. How much fixing? Are you happy that DP, the oldest party, is unable to win elections? Are you happy that DP cannot hold any other person to account? Because DP has failed. You know, the rumors that have been going on in DP, is that the speaker you want? Where his party is full of wrongles day in, day out.
Is Mao's competence under question?
No. I think the leadership style could be a problem. Currently, Mao is the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, right? I heard Honorable Mao saying one of the things he wants to fix is abuse of resources. Is making the Speaker and Parliament as an institution independent and strong and is a counterweight, particularly to an overboard executive. That's what he's saying. He says he wants to remove the garrison, he uses this word, the security garrison around Parliament. Let's go and examine the Ministry of Justice where he is. If you check all the studies of the last 20 years or so, judiciary tops, abuse of resources, case backlogs. Has he fixed it? Has he brought a proposal to fix it? It is where human rights, all of us have been crying about abuse of human rights. Has he fixed them? So that we can base on that performance. He said now, since you cleaned the plate in justice, we can now give you Parliament. So when Honorable Mao says he must come and fix what is a miss in Parliament, is what the Waganda would say, Okomudisa, Awudisa.
Honorable Mao, if you could come in here. I think you've opened yourself a Pandora box and you're getting too many punches.
No, OO is the campaign manager for one of the candidates.
But that's no
And he
problem.
must earn his dues.
No, Honorable Mao,
This
Instead of convincing me, you're now
he's
accusing me.
earning it on live TV, which is the best way.
Yeah, but we need to unpack the things that he's saying.
No,
If you have failed to fix DP, you look at...
let me tell you, all the bishops, archbishops, the pope would have to resign because you would say, all the sinners, have they stopped sinning? You know, that is the most nonsensical argument I've ever had on live TV. You would not even have voted for the president. You would say, is every Ugandan now rich? You said Bonaba Kagawane. Are they all now rich? You said Bonaba Some. How many uneducated people are there? That is very cheap reasoning. What we are talking about is whether we can, in good faith, have a country that can come together and accept that, look, we are turning a sharp corner in Uganda, and rather than pushing away people who want to work with you, in fact, you are now betraying the philosophy of the president of Uganda. In Kenya, the Speaker of Parliament doesn't belong to the president's party.
But that is Kenya, not Uganda.
No, because we have got to use examples that are relevant. I do believe very strongly that we must debate this issue based on the interests of the country. Because remember, the voting for the speaker is one day. We are going to vote, and then we have 5 years, and you are going to be bringing back my words. You know, as the Bible says, heaven and earth shall pass, but my words, these words that I'm speaking here, you will be quoting them here, and you will say, Mao told us. You know, things are bad. You want to make them worse?
I think that is blackmailing.
No, the same way he's blackmailing me.
No.
By saying that the fact that there is abuse of human rights, it is Mao's fault.
No,
Really,
so.
to what extent is Norbert Mao responsible for...
No.
You would now say, Inspector General of Police, you are the one responsible for all the rape going on in the country.
Yeah, his argument is that you have failed to clean your house.
No, I'm ready to be judged. You don't need to get 100% to be a good student. I am not saying I am perfect, I've not achieved every goal, but what I am saying is the problems that Parliament has need fixing. And I'm the one who said it is not about me.
Would you know, just for a minute?
So who says that it is Honorable Mao who has the best interest of the country in the first place? You are not saying it yourself. Now, but be that as it may, you have just said here that you don't have to be 100%. And Anita, Tayeba don't need, or another person they don't need. I think what is important is to have mechanisms within that parliament and of course within the state to hold leaders. For me, I am in for, also this is the philosophy of NRM, by the way, and President Seven. You make mistakes, he helps you correct your way.
But for the record, you are biased.
Yeah?
You are a campaign manager, as he alleges.
No, I just happen to be privy to information that probably Honorable Mao was not privy to. Namely, there was a president in the SEC, and to the best of my knowledge, there is no decision of SEC that the caucus of NRM has rejected. Just wait. This is a different parliament, as Honorable Mpuga has said. My belief, my honest belief, and where I want to put my effort, is to ensure that we members of parliament try to hold the speaker and deputy speaker and other officials of parliament, including ministers, to the highest standard. My belief is that once beaten, twice shy. I want to honestly believe that Anita Mong started from being a deputy for Lanya. Some mistakes were made. I think she has learned from those episodes.
And for the record, are you on Anita's task force?
No, I'm not. But I am a member of NRM was a vote, but also...
Honorable Mao,
but also,
do you care withdrawing your allegation
but also,
he's a campaign manager?
I have a vibrant mouth, for sure, and you can be sure that I have capacity to drive many members of parliament, including from the
Honorable Mao, would you withdraw your
support the
statement
NRM
that
candidate.
he's biased because he's a campaign manager?
And I withdraw it, but then I amend it by saying since he has a vibrant mouth, now he's a mouthpiece.
No, but that's okay.
Thank you. I want to move on to. I'll give you a chance. I'll give you a chance to speak. Honorable Puga, when you look at all this tug of war, how does it define the current politics? I mean, post-election, and we are now into the battle for speakership.
Well, I think the one term would be polarization. You know, what you're discussing post-election, you probably did not have occasion to invite the Minister of Justice to have a conversation with citizens about how the last election was held. That would be a very beautiful conversation, to have the views of the Honourable Minister of Justice on how biometric machines or a boat at billions, and I hope that will be one of the first debates in Parliament, to hold government to account for that waste.
With him as the speaker.
Well, whichever speaker there will be, whichever speaker there will be, that's a very serious matter, because we are where we are, particularly because of the way I've managed our elections. And I do not see politics change for the better, because now we have learned to get away with murder. That you can have a selection instead of an election, life continues, and then you expect that you'll not face polarization. We are polarized. When Mao speaks about, the Honourable Mao speaks about, you know, getting the country back on track together, he knows that's off the rails. The problem is that the OOs with his, did you call vibrating mouth or?
Vibrant.
I think it is both.
So of course, when you're talking, the mouth and the tongue must vibrate.
So they'll never speak with humility to say that something is amiss, that we need to fix it.
So Mao has a point.
No, he makes a point that everybody has made. He even made it before joining them. And he assured us that when he goes in, he'll shake the table to make them uncomfortable so that they can listen. Unfortunately, it took him so long to start shaking it. And before he knew it, he was again complaining. So I'm only saying that all of us, those in Parliament, outside the Parliament, need to work that we do not have this kind of debate again, because it again adds to the already polarizing situation we have in the country about our politics.
I need to hear this again. The speakership debate is derailing the country from critical issues. I thought this too is critical.
No. You get me right. The debate ought to happen and should happen. It's positive. It should happen. And like you all said, that every layer of leadership learns from the past works. If you think you don't do well, you have occasion to correct what you did badly. So you have a parliament dominated by a single party, and the Honourable Mao, with his few members, need space to be sent to. How they influence legislation, so that the few can have influence over how the country will be. The other parties, with small numbers, if we go by the attitude of we have a bit of a problem. The NRM has every right, legal right and political right, to use their numbers to have the speaker. Probably the debate should not be on how the minority having the speaker. The debate should be, a priori, how do we organize an election so that the outcome reflect the direction of the country. The voting of the speaker will not determine the direction of the country. It will be normal business, because it's the winner takes all. And that must be understood in unequivocal terms.
Yeah, but for now it's dominating the political discourse.
Invariably, but it's going to, you see, the way our politics works, that you have a debate for a few months, it fizzles. If we have a landslide in Bududa, that will be the case, we'll go to the landslide. If locusts come, we debate locusts. The last few weeks, you are debating the nature of the election. You are not talking about winners and losers. So if you fail to hold a free and fair election, you talk about losers and winners. Now the media is now discussing the next phase. You are discussing a stolen election, beaten voters, disenfranchised candidates, discussing parliament. How fast time runs. That's why I'm saying that this is short term. We shouldn't go for the juggler. Let's discuss the bigger issues over which our legacy as leaders in this country shall be set. Because simply voting the speaker or appointing, as the NRM probably has done, will not change the course of politics and parliament.
Thank you. Honorable Wakida, for a while you've observed elections, rather you've observed politics. I'm glad you made it this time for Kabweri County constituency, and you're now in the thick of things. What do you make of the way the trajectory parliamentary politics is taking, that the race for speakership becomes a do-or-die matter?
Let me first say that I think the chairman of the NRM party has helped many of us. Leaders, as a leader, you must direct. You must give direction. There has been a lot of speculation, and I want to tell the speculation. One of the speculation is that who is bringing Mao? That question has been lingering in the political space.
Is it answered now?
Is it being brought by the president? Is it being brought by somebody? That question has been there, and I'm very sure you know.
Okay, can I ask you the question? Who is bringing him out?
Himself now, I know. I know now he has come as Mao. Nobody has brought him. But before, I even had a chance to sit with these containers, and I asked them, have you asked yourself who is bringing Mao? Because the question was, in a space where you have about 5 members of parliament as a DP, can you contest with a party?
He has
with about
8. I think he has 8.
Yeah, with over 400 members of parliament? Would you put yourself in that frame?
Yeah, but he's part of you. He's part
No,
of the
you
NRM.
see, let us not pretend.
But it's foolhardy to be so
Let me
profound.
tell you, if you
It's
check,
part of NATO.
if you check, if you check Mao's nomination paper, his color is not yellow.
Yeah, but he's green yellow.
Wait,
Now we are going the way of
everybody knows.
watermelon
Let me tell you.
pumpkin.
Let me tell you, Simon, we are not in a government of national unity. We are in a government.
No a coalition.
It's not a coalition. This is a competitive politics of parties, where you have NRM even throwing away independence as long as you are not holding
But
the flag.
Honorable Wakida,
Yes.
maybe Honorable Kagwanjana, Mao is a member of DP, is the leader of DP, therefore is in the opposition. That's why they are going to sit. DP members are going to sit opposite NRM. Do you believe that there are sufficient members of the opposition who are going to support Honorable Mao, taking into consideration the accusation against him since joining government? Do you see them?
Yeah, but I find it
I'm asking you.
I'm intrigued by
Yes.
your disowning Mao at the last minute.
Which last
For a
minute?
while you've been calling him our own. Now that he has thrown his heart in the ring, you're saying,
No,
Yes.
I said when it is time for work, Mao is ours. When it's time to share the harvest,
You know, Simon,
Yes.
now they are talking as if
Simon,
I never campaigned for.
Simon, I said this when I started talking here, that the kind of politics we are in is a competing politics for parties. And FDC, DP, UPC, NRM are all competing for space. It's known. I watched in my village there, guys who have been NRM, for years. When they lost the flag, they were treated as opposition. And the party went with those who had the flag. Now, my brother Mao, I have no doubt with Mao's competence. And you know that given the chance for him to become a speaker, he would definitely deliver. I have no doubt that. But it's like you with a neighbor's son who is very smart and very good, and you die. Your neighbor's son will never come and inherit you. They will even look for anybody within that family, irrespective of how he is, to inherit the father.
I love the figure you use.
I want to be very, very. I have just told you that, you see, when you...
I thought NRM is accommodative to the extent of going in for a cooperation agreement.
You see, we don't want to discuss the cooperation agreement.
Why?
Because we don't know what is in built there. We don't know the terms. We only have to discuss the reality as we see it. Assuming, and I want to say this, assuming Mao said today, I want to be an NRM, do you know what will happen? We will have to go back to his constituency, conduct fresh elections for him to come and be an NRM. Did you know that?
So you're chasing him from the
No,
dining
he's not actually being chased. He must face the reality.
Oh, you are realigning him.
OO has just said here that assuming there are 60 or 70 members of parliament who are in opposition, how many of those in opposition would say we are going to vote for Norbert Mao today? He is going to be left there with his 6 members of parliament from DP and a few. Let me say, the current members of parliament who are in opposition will start to see Mao in a very different way. They will say, that one is like this, is like this. The DP themselves will say that. You had them grab. I think you are one of them.
No, Mr. Host.
No, you have been, I think, a DP or something like at one point.
To deny.
I'm hosting.
No, I'm just me, I like to be very clear with Honorable Mao. I would be happy for him to retain that position of the Justice Minister. He understands these dynamics. But when you go for competition sometimes has no rules.
Thank you. Honorable Mao, of all issues that the country will be grappling with in the aftermath of an election that had issues, you chose to front the idea of standing for speakership now, before even accounting for the flaws in the election. Isn't that being greedy and selfish?
I've been having a statement on my desk for weeks. Parliament has summoned me to come and explain issues surrounding the biometric voter verification kits. And as you know, we are accountable to Parliament. So I'm ready to go and account. Now, here on NBS Frontline, you are the ones who set the topics. You have invited me here several times.
Yeah.
You have never invited me to discuss those so-called important issues. You are the ones shaping the agenda.
But we never hosted your press conference. We're not the ones who arranged your press conference. For the announcement.
I actually spoke about the biometric voter verification kits because I was one of the chief promoters of those kits. And when Parliament gives us time, we will go and explain.
For now, should speakership top the national agenda?
It is important because it's a strategic position for Uganda.
But it looks diversionary from the big issues.
It isn't diversionary. You could have invited us to talk about Iran if you wanted. You could have invited us to talk about any other issue. But I do believe that Ugandans need something that gives them hope. That you have a parliament which is accountable. I do not know whether you have ever seen the reports concerning how parliament operates financially. You are a journalist.
Yes, I have.
You have?
Yes, I have.
Which report have you seen?
The Auditor General's report.
I do not know whether you have studied the details of those reports, but I'll restrain myself from going into details. Now, the issue of Speaker of Parliament is important because Uganda as a country is at a turning point. Whether we like it or not, Uganda will have a transition. And Parliament will play a critical role. You need a speaker who is tolerant. You need a speaker who is going to be impartial. I don't mean neutral, because a speaker must have beliefs. But impartiality means that you'll be a good referee to allow the members of parliament to express themselves freely, that you will empower the individual members of parliament. We have virtually a new parliament. They need empowerment. So offering myself to lead parliament shouldn't invite the kind of insults that I'm now receiving from people I thought were my friends.
The jobs are heavy.
No, they are showing themselves, because it is important that people reveal who they are. I have been very faithful to the commitment I made in serving in this government. I do not know why the NRM, through their mouthpieces here, want to push me away. I don't know what they would gain.
Yeah, but you see the writing on the wall. At least OO has labored to tell you how ambitious people, over-ambitious people have ended.
I think the question is whether I'm right. You know, I like those who talk about numbers. Being right is really not about numbers. If there are people who have been crucified before.
Are you ready to go down with this?
I don't mind being crucified. The Pharisees will be waiting. It is okay. But what matters most is that you should step forward and say, here is an alternative. Like I said here earlier, I don't want God to ask me in future and say it. And if God asks me, what did you do when Parliament needed fixing? I will say, Lord.
Actually, it's being quoted to have said,
I did my best.
What would Olanya ask him?
I said both.
Well,
I said both. Even my friend Jacob Olanya would ask me, I left you behind. What did you do?
Yeah, it must be a shocker to you that your bases are all disowning you. At home, we've had the sentiment of MPs from Acholi disowning you. In DP, your deputy president has said the same. Now here he was saying, your friends are being very unsavory towards you.
They say you are blessed when you are disowned for speaking the truth.
So
I'm indeed one of the most blessed Ugandans tonight, because there's nothing I have said which is not true.
for the record, who is bringing you?
I am a citizen, I'm a volunteer. The best patriots are volunteers, because I'm not here because of the perks. I'm not here for food, as others are saying. I am an elected member of parliament who represents Laro Peche. I hope by the end of this show you can pronounce it properly.
Laro
Peche.
Okay.
The other part is called Laro. This other part is called Peche.
Thank you.
Like Nyendo Mukungwe.
Honorable OO, how will this end?
Before I got how this will end, when Honorable Mao is speaking about the type of leadership he wants in Parliament, he says he's elected, he's a Ugandan. When some of us speak the way we speak, he says we are hired. And this is not new to him. You remember when people were coming to NRM, they from opposition, say they are going for main card.
I said that about no.
Main card?
Yes.
Then he said, NRM, fish rots from the head. He has never recanted that.
But it's true also.
Now he's part of the head. He has just told you that he's now part of NRM. So he's part of the head of NRM that is rotated. Now I would want to believe that Honorable Mao, first of all, in our rules, the Speaker doesn't originate any bill, any proposal. He or she simply shepherds the debate and convergence of decisions. How Honorable Mao, Right Honorable Mao as Speaker, initiate bills, policies to rectify, because some of them may need change of policy, some of them may need change of the laws, or even the constitution. How will the Speaker, who's supposed to be, actually the Speaker is not supposed to speak, according to the classical to debate. So how will, but Honorable Mao is a member of the opposition, DP. Doesn't he want a strong opposition? Why doesn't he provide strong leadership in the opposition so that that strong opposition, independent, becomes capable to hold this rotten thing, NRM, to account?
What are the chances that one of these days
So,
you will recant your statements after realizing that
let me conclude.
Mao is bigger than anyone would think?
You see, Honorable Mao 2011 or 2016, when he declined to step down for the presidency, because the opposition had tried to pick one candidate. You remember what Honorable Mao said? He said he wants to be in that race to add on to the number of headaches, sources of headache for Museveni. You remember? Oh, you don't.
2011.
2011.
Now, I can fault Honorable Mao on the many statements he has made.
But didn't I provide the headache?
Well, I don't think so. If you had provided the headache, NRM and Museveni would have lost that election, or would have performed, and your only numbers would have gone up, but they did it. And this time, you have even been really diced by the voters. From 10 members of parliament in this current parliament, just dole out for you just 5. And 5 who even, Honorable Matthias there, maybe you can remember the one from Uganda, But the rest of the country don't actually know the other members of parliament elect for DP. So I don't think we can hold Honorable Mao.
They will be known with the time.
Yeah,
Give them chance.
yeah. But I'm saying,
Just ready.
yeah. I am saying I don't think we need to hold Honorable Mao. All these things he's talking about. And therefore, I don't think. I think I'm a good analyst also. I don't think I am going to recant. I don't think Honorable Mao, as I say, that we shall report it. Because in other case, ourselves, including on this show, I have said that there were some things that were not handled well at the beginning of the tenure of the Right Honorable Anita Mao. Probably she was still learning on the job. You remember Honorable Anita Mao said, when we were asking about governance issues, said, you are the media, you cannot hold me or parliament to account to the media. We don't account to the media. And I said, you remember my long article? I said, the Right Honorable Speaker, in a democracy like ours, you cannot wish away being asked questions by the media. They are not the elected leaders of the country. Now,
It's
since that time,
to wish away Mao, because you don't know who's bringing him.
since that time, I want to believe the leadership of parliament has changed for the better. The leadership of parliament has, now, Now, whether you say Norbert Mao is a big or not, that's okay. They say what the pudding is in the tasting. We have 1.5 months to sort out this matter.
Well, we have quite a number of comments coming in response to the question that we posed. Emmanuel Egudu says, the last nail on the coffin has already